I'm not going to get put on Elle magazine unless they're doing a like ironic everyday girl edition, and they're still going to put me in full face makeup, do a blowout, and then like auto tune my body. Good Tuesday, turkey tots.
Hello, turkey sandwiches. That was stupid.
It's because I stole your turkey tot line. Like
I know, I didn't know what to say.
Ooh, that was rude of me. Anyway,
no, it's okay. I liked it.
We're back. We have again this week we have our guest star, Baby K.
Yep, Mr. Growly Pants over here. It's more like snores, but yeah, the random background noises. That is my child.
I find the little baby gurgles to be kind of endearing. Like,
oh, good. Oh, I love them, but when he eats, it's really cute because he'll make so much noises. I have plenty of videos on my phone of him eating and making noises because I don't want to forget the little noises it makes, and that's not going to happen for forever. So
he is so sweet. Okay. Anyway, for the people who are listening only, it's not Kayla like sitting over there growling. It's her baby
breathing heavy,
napping in his little nap wrap.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
I love it.
Okay. This week, y'all, Kayla had this idea. Where did you get this idea from?
Okay, so this is funny. So I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I don't really watch normal TV. I watch just me and my husband watch YouTube. So there's a bunch of, there's all this stuff now about rating yourself. You'll see videos of like this podcast has it where they'll have girls come in and they'll ask them to rate themselves, and the conversations are just hysterical because, well, I'll get into my theories or my thoughts about this later once we reveal ours, but I came up with the idea that we should rate ourselves because I wanted to play into this societal thing right now where people, even on the street, there's YouTube videos of these guys who are like, what do you rate yourself? And they'll say a number, and then the guy will take a picture of this person, and it could be a girl or a guy, and then go to the next person and be like, what do you rate this person? So say this guy came up to this girl, she's like, I'm a 9, or I'm a 10, and then they take a picture. He goes to the next guy, and he's like, she's a 6 or she's a 4. And then they're like, okay, what do you rate yourself? And he goes, I'm a 7. And then, again, take a picture, goes to a girl. What do you rate this guy? And so it's funny to see how people rate themselves, and immediately they're getting their picture taken, going to some other stranger and having them rate them. And it's the funniest thing. And so it just stirs up a lot of conversations. And I just feel like with this, where we are in the culture right now, I just thought it'd be really fun if we rated ourselves and then talk through our thoughts about all these things. So
just so you guys know, Kayla threw this as an idea for us to do on an episode, and then her baby came early. And I have been pondering that, like, not daily, like, journaling about it, but I have like low-key had this simmering for a while, so I'm so excited. We have not discussed our numbers with each other, so This week we're just going to get right into it with our question being, okay, what do you rate yourself? And let me set the parameters here. It's what do you rate yourself that you think other people would say about how you physically look?
Yep, and we're just doing physical. At least we can do a personality one after this, but I think we should just do physical. What do we rate ourselves? How we think others perceive us essentially?
Yeah. So it's not to say like, I think I'm a slug.
Right.
Oh, Caden's arm is coming out, y'all. It's so chunky. His 2 wrists. It's not to say like we think we're like shit covered rocks. It's just that we think this is how other people would appear, or would if someone did this to us and took our picture and took us to a stranger, what the stranger would say.
If someone came up to me on the street, and I don't doubt it, I would gladly Whatever I say right now is what I would say someone if I were to be on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's what we would expect another stranger to say about us.
Yes.
Is this like, are they taking like a whole body photo?
They are. Isn't that crazy?
Oh, whoa, okay.
Yeah,
Are you allowed to
yeah.
like angles?
Probably. But even
Okay.
just in the context of like, if someone was not even taking your picture and then going and asking someone else, it's just even in a conversation with somebody, it would if they asked you what would you rate yourself, it's like, what's the number that comes to mind?
God, I've been
So,
so into this
oh my God, I
forever.
can't wait to hear your
Okay.
answer. I think we should do a 3, 2, 1 and not go like one at a time. I think we should both say our numbers at the same time.
Let's both say our numbers and hold them up.
Okay. Are you gonna do 3, 2, 1 number? Or are you gonna do 3, 2, 1
God.
go?
Let's
It's
do
like
rock, paper, scissors,
scissors.
shoot, and let's go on
Okay.
shoot.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
6. Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
4.
you did 4?
Oh, I said shoot.
Oh, you really lowballed it.
Okay.
Okay.
Do
This
you
is
want to
so
go first?
interesting. No, you go first. I like when you go first. I do
Okay,
better
as
on
long
the
as you
second
don't think
fail.
I'm being like a microphone whore. Okay,
No.
everyone. If I got so distracted that I said shoot instead of 4.
I had a feeling you were gonna do that.
I held up my 4. Okay,
Okay.
here's my thought. This is oh, I'm gonna sound really rude here for a minute. Let me need to put up my hair because I'm stressed out.
I'm like embarrassed that I said 6 now.
Don't be embarrassed.
No, this is fun. This is why we wanted to do this. I want to have
Oh
a
my god,
conversation
I'm
around
obsessed
this.
with this. So I was trying to think of like who's a 0. Right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm trying to like I'm trying to scale it here. So I'm like,
Yep.
okay, who's a 0? I can't think of anyone. Well, I mean, I can, but they're not famous people. It's just like faces I've seen.
I don't know why that's so funny because I'm picturing faces now. Okay.
I would never say who I'm thinking, but I'm like, I
No.
have thoughts. So, and then if you take, then I'm like, so who would be like a 10 of how they look? And my thought was Beyonce because I just feel like
Okay. Yeah. It's a
she's
good one.
basically perfect. And then I was trying to think of sorry, there's a bird. I was trying to think of all the other people in the middle. And then I was thinking about how like I've never even seen a supermodel before. And then I was thinking about the average person. And I don't know what average attractiveness is, but I feel like if 5 was right down the middle, I don't think I can tell myself I'm in the middle when all of those people exist.
I feel you on where you're coming from.
Right? Like I like myself like an 8, but I feel like other people would not be there with me. I mean, I like my butt cheeks, but I have spider veins. My boobs aren't very big. I have weird baby teeth. I'm not very tall, and I don't know. I don't do anything with myself.
Well, it's funny because I was like, if we're gonna do this episode today, I at least need to put on a little bit of makeup. And a little bit of makeup for me is like a little bit of concealer, a little fill in eyebrow, a little bit of mascara. If you were to ask me, okay, this was interesting for me because I brought this up pre giving birth, and now
Yes,
I'm post giving birth. So let me tell you that my answer of 6 is what I felt pre giving birth.
that's fair.
At this point, now that I'm in this postpartum season, and we talked about this a couple episodes ago, where I'm obviously not in the place where I want to be, but I'm going to give myself grace and time. At this point, if we're including like full body, I would probably rate myself more like a 4, 4 or 5, just because like I'm nowhere near where I used to look as far as like physicality goes. But I try to do this pre-baby because I didn't want that to distort it too much. But it's interesting your logic. I didn't really start from 0 and look at 10. I would just like, okay, average. Do I think I'm like slightly above average or slightly below average? And maybe that's conceited of me, but like if I had a little bit more makeup on and I actually did my hair and I was pre-baby body, I'd be like, I'm slightly above average, and I'm happy with that. Like, I'm just slightly above average.
This is
So
my
that's where I got
favorite.
6. I know.
It's really weird too because literally yesterday, Jason and I, 2 days ago, I don't know what day it is, we're at a birthday party, baby birthday party, and for some reason we got on this topic. Oh, because I have a theory that women who are self conscious try to surround themselves with women they think look worse than them.
Oh,
Like women that have like
yep.
real severe
Yeah.
body image
Yeah.
issues, you'll notice they'll be like, I don't think that they're making a conscious decision, but I feel like somewhere in the midst something happened where they wanted to
Mm-hmm.
ensure. It's like when really cute girls who are really self-conscious date like really schlubby dudes. So they always have an
Mm-hmm.
upper hand in the looks department.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, that was my theory. And then I was telling Jason, I was like, I know I'm confident in myself because I was like, I always thought all of my friends are better looking than me.
No, yeah. I think a lot of people, you always want what you can't have. You're saying you're short. I would have loved to be shorter. I think it's one of those things where you're always comparing and thinking you're not like, you know. It's interesting though because so for me, average in my head was, how do I say this? I've said this in the past with like, there's like those people, and this can kind of start to play into the personality aspect, which we can get into next. But those people that are kind of just like there, and they're not like drop dead gorgeous, but they're not ugly by any means, and they're kind of just sitting there. It's like the white crayon in the crayon box.
I
You're
was
like,
just gonna
what do you?
say plain oatmeal, staple of America, keeps you going,
Yeah.
sticks to the ribs. Not what you
So
order as your last meal on death row.
exactly, but not bad. Anyway, so that's what I was picturing as far as average. So if I'm just going to tell you, I do not think you're, to me, like when you, when you walk in a room, like more heads are turning than unturning. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's me giving you a compliment on, I
Thank
think you're
you.
above average.
I like
Not
that.
because I'm trying to hype you up and be like, you're a 10, bitch, you're a 10. I'm just saying,
Those
like,
people are
realistically.
so stupid.
So that's what I want to get into. There's so many people on these YouTube videos. It's like, what do you rate yourself? I ain't nothing short of a 10, or I'm a 10. I'm a 10. I'm a 10 because I've got confidence. I'm a 10. I think confidence is a completely different story than the reality of life.
Yeah.
Right? This is where this
Nobody
all has stemmed from.
listen, if somebody wants to have like a down to earth like magazine cover of like you should come into our bank, I could be the bank teller.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get put on Elle magazine unless they're doing a like ironic everyday girl edition and they're still gonna put me in full face makeup, do a blowout, and then
Yeah.
like auto tune my body.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean,
Right.
I feel you.
Like if I'm being realistic.
No, same.
I
I
don't
mean,
feel do you know what this is coming from though? This is gonna get into a whole other conversation. As far as like looks, I don't know. I just always assumed other people stood out more than me whenever we went places.
I think it comes back to we normally don't see ourselves the way others see us. But it's interesting because so when people have said like I'm a 10 on YouTube, it's ironically sad, but you're sitting at home and you're these other people and you're looking at this person like clearly you're not a 10, but okay. But it's what it comes down to, they did a study and what defines what people consider attractiveness is actually how symmetrical your face is and some other factors that are like from old studies, and I can't entirely remember them. I should have done more research on it, but it's just fascinating how in this world of accepting everyone for who they are and praise you for no matter what you look like and what size, and again, there's a difference between self-confidence and body, you know, you feel good in the body that you have, and there's another story about like what do you look like compared to the standard of beauty, and I just feel like people are lacking a reality check these days. And that's the whole point of this. I'm just like,
I know.
we can't all be 10s.
No, we can't because like Giselle and like
so many people.
a million people. Or I think about like Jessica Simpson.
Yeah.
Or
well, that's random. That's so random.
I just think of like all American, like blonde, teeth, boobs, butt.
Well, like the Kim Kardashian lookalikes of the world, like stuff like that, where people just are. I don't know. I mean, they are very symmetrical with all their makeup and their
plastic surgery.
Plastic surgery. So, but the other thing that I feel like people don't, I almost feel like you have to separate it, because I do feel if you are, say, like you're a 5, you're just run of the mill look. Once you get to know people, their personality can change how you perceive them. Mm-hmm. So it's funny because there's also been some videos of, guys rating a girl, let's say a 7 or an 8. Let's say an 8. And they start talking and he's like, I changed my mind. You're down to a 6. Because the way you're talking and the way you're presenting yourself is turning me off.
Yeah.
So I think that's a whole other side of the conversation. And that's where I feel people convolute their, like, what they bring to the table and self-confidence into, I don't know, man, just going back to a reality check. It's just so interesting listening to mostly women. And it's interesting too, because if someone in the room, if there's a group of women and someone says 6, and I even did this to you, I'm like, you're not a 4, you're at least a 6. It's like these women who will say, oh, I think I'm an 8. Girl, you're not an 8, you're a 10. Like, own that stuff. Like, you're a 10, I'm a 10. But again, like, I'm looking at the two of you guys. You don't look anything alike, and you're both not a 10. So let's just be realistic with each other. Right?
Because you can feel like a 10.
Yes, that's completely different.
Yourself a 10 amount. Yes. And I think in a room of normals, that Jason thinks I'm the most attractive person there. Like, he makes me feel that way.
Yeah.
But if we walked into a room and Beyonce was in there, I wouldn't even ask.
Yeah.
It's fine. Scarlett Johansson, I think he always does a double take when she's on the TV. What's her face from Modern Family? Sofia Vergara? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Beautiful.
But even in those situations, I would know better.
Oh, right. Like, I'm not
gonna look better than them. Why would you? Who would do that? The answer is no. But you love me, and you're going home with me. Sorry. Exactly. Think about whatever you want later, but you're getting in the car with me. I just feel like there's a little bit of a piece to that. I don't need to. Also, let's do our personality numbers, because this is the other thing.
Yes, I agree. Okay, let's say rock, paper, scissors, and instead of saying shoot, say the number.
Okay, I can do this. Rock.
Let me think.
Paper.
I thought about this already, but hold on.
Okay.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay, ready?
Rock, paper, scissors. 8.
8. Oh, look at us! Pause.
Hi, Kenny. Can you all guess that sound? Does anyone else get like Disney songs stuck in their head randomly? Because I do. How does tea make me burp? This is half of why I don't feel so good about how I look. Because I'm looking at myself on a camera way more than I ever used to.
Okay, resume.
Doing some entertainment for the visual audience.
Yay,
everyone,
good.
Everyone, Kayla's back. We just had to take a brief pause so she could pass off baby to baby daddy.
Daddy got home.
So.
Ooh. Okay, so we both said 8. That's so fascinating.
I know.
Okay, so explain.
Well, I feel like you could basically plop me down in any room and I'll talk to everyone. And I think that if there's a room of 10 people and you plop me down in the middle of it, I feel like 8 out of 10 of them would jive with me.
That's a good way to put it. I didn't think about that. I was
Right?
just thinking I'm nice. I'm kind. I can be relatable. I can kind of be funny. I'm a good friend.
It's true. You're not going to stress
I
someone out.
No, I'm like pretty chill for the
You,
most part. I'm not dramatic.
you do not have an annoying accent.
Thank you. I just feel, again, I'm above average a couple notches as far as personality. But again, I would never rate myself a 10. And honestly, I don't think anyone can really rate themselves a 10 personality
I
wise
don't
because we
know.
always have stuff to work on. Like
I know,
I have
but
my shit to work on.
I was going to say Oprah was my 10.
No, there's stuff about her that is not good either.
But
Everyone's
I
got
guess
their
to me,
stuff.
like, this is what other people would rate you. So, like, what the world
True.
sees of Oprah is like outgoing and gregarious and like magnetic and
Yeah, that's true.
right, like she's not inviting people into her closet, nor am I.
Valid.
And I
But
guess
if
this
you
was
were like to
women.
really get to know her, you never know what's going to come up. I don't know. I just feel like no one's perfect in the personality chart. But you bring up a valid point about public perception.
Yeah, I was taking this as like if you plop someone in a room, are more people gonna gravitate towards them or not? Like how magnetic are you?
Okay, yeah, that's valid. But I also feel like, to be devil's advocate, I don't know if a higher rating of personality means you have to be magnetic. You could be more I don't know the opposite of magnetic, but
I
someone
think
who's
the
not like pulling energy and being like, "Hey, like look at me. I'm filling the room with good energy." Sometimes it could be like a quiet energy. I don't know.
well, I think this is the difference. Because I'm an extrovert,
Yeah.
I expect to probably and not entertain, but like I would expect myself to interact with a larger like all at once with people for that effect. Whereas I imagine you are individually winning people over as the day goes on.
Yeah, that's so true. I think it depends on your personality type because yeah, if you put me and you in a room full of people, you would outshine, and I don't mean this in a pity me thing, but you would outshine me in a room full of people that we're just meeting. But this is the balance that I love between us because once everyone gets to know everyone because you've kind of brought everyone together, then people start getting to know me, and then it's like, oh, I really like this girl too, and then it's like fun for everyone.
But I think that's what I mean too by being like magnetic. It doesn't have to be that you like drag all the attention on you. It's just that people are drawn to you. So whether like 5 people are drawing to you at once
I
because you're
gotcha.
like scooping a big net, or if you're like individually
Yeah.
seeking them out on a 1-to-1, because
Okay, that makes sense.
you're gonna 1-to-1 with people and they're gonna be like, oh, she's so thoughtful, or like, oh, she's so nice, or like she knows facts about poops and chemicals and the tinfoil. But like I'm gonna be the person that's like making fun of FBI agents or like cracking a joke
Yeah.
about this time I went to someone's basement and there was a weird sex doll in it. Like, it's just different things are going to happen, but I think the
Yeah.
value is the same.
And I think that's a good point too that you brought up about 8 out of 10 people are going to vibe with me because personality is such a personal thing. So you may have the best personality fit for like me as a friend, but say someone else who is like, nah, I'm not, nah, So 8 out of 10 people, I think that's a valid way to look at it too.
Right? I feel like that was decent. So when we
Yeah.
go back to the like looks rating, I feel confident in myself as like a whole person. And I feel good about like interacting with people and connecting with people and dressing like a hoe for show. And I know Jason likes looking at me. So like, and there's things that I like about myself for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
if I just hone that one thing out, like I don't feel good about that as a standalone quality from purely the outside of the world looking in.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because my next question was going to be, do you feel like you have a number for now yourself as in your own internal rating, looks and personality combined as you as a person? How do you feel? Because I have a number in my head. Well, again, it's kind of changed post baby, but I've got a number that I think overall, if I had to rate myself as me with everything combined, I have a number.
I think I feel 7-ish about myself.
I was gonna say I feel like 7.5 to 8-ish about myself total, because like I know what I can bring to the table, but again, I definitely have fun. I'm excited to take on this physical journey to get back into my not even pre-baby, but just get to a point where I'm going to feel a little more confident, where my jeans will fit again. Um, and again, my personality, I have so many strengths, as do you, but I just know how much crap I still have to work out, and it always will be a self-growth journey that I don't think I could ever rate myself above, even if I was feeling like just so great with all levels of my life. I still don't think I would ever go above a 9 or 9.5, probably 9, because I always know there's something to work on.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's for me for my internals. I just feel like externally no one knows that.
Right.
Like my internal stuff I don't think is usually like visible to the public.
Yeah, I guess I'm thinking about my interpersonal relationships. Like, I could probably show up better in my relationships if I could address XYZ of my internals. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. But if we're talking about like raw dog in a party, like you would be
Yeah.
seriously decreasing your personality score if you walked in and you were like, "Come with me and I'll tell you about my childhood traumas." Like
Oh, yeah,
you can
yeah.
smell those people. Or the ones that are like super good looking and then they have like 3 drinks and it's just immediate tears.
Oh, yeah.
Like the subtractions start coming out real hot and heavy after a little bit of prosecco.
Uh-huh.
Woof.
Yeah.
Damn it, I was going to say something and then I forgot what it was. Yeah, I think in like a batch of normals, that's how I feel. But if you slubbed me down in the middle of like performers or comedians, like if I got plopped in a room full of comedians, I would probably feel like my personality wasn't as great anymore. And then if you plopped me down in a room full of like supermodels, I would probably think I was a 2. So I guess I'm thankful I live in like general society in like a sort of normal area. And because that would be rough.
Gosh, this is why I'm so glad we're having this conversation, because even the way we are very level-headed women, in my humble opinion, and our numbers are reflective of that, but even the way you the angle you went about this was different than mine, because you are coming in like you're comparing yourself, you're plopping yourself into a group of people, whether that's celebrities or a normal group of people or a group of people at a party. And I haven't even thought about other people. I'm more like, okay, on a scale, what's average? Do I feel like I'm better or worse than that in my own interpersonal relationships? It's just so weird how we both are coming at it differently.
I know.
So fascinating.
I have also... Fuck, what was I going to say?
I wish I would have looked a little bit better for this episode, though. I'm not going to lie. Someone's going to be like, she's not even a 6. She's a 3.
Oh, I know.
She's a 2. Dude, we're going to get some hates in the comments. Oh, my God.
The trolls were already ridiculous about something about me. I can't remember what it was, but I can't wait for this round. Oh, that's what it was. When I'm feeling good about myself, like I can dress up and be like feeling myself and then like it. I have noticed that recording and then having to go back and rewatch myself is not ideal. Like I didn't know there was this like double chin action happening, but no matter what angle I put my camera, it's here.
I know, same.
And I didn't know that my eyes are definitely like one is higher than the other, and I think it's actually has more to do, from remembering the chiropractor, with like my head not sitting straight. Like
Oh,
I have a
wow.
slight tilt, I think, from something that they have yapped about before. Um, that has become very apparent to me, which I wish it wasn't. So sometimes I try to even out my eyeball openings. And then what else? Oh, my frizzy hair. And then the icing on the cake was, I was like, I have got to pull out my upper lip hairs. Because like I'm a
Or
hairy person and have some Italian in me, and I'm thankful to God because the Italians have given me all of this hair that's on top of my head that I'm very thankful for. And like defined eyebrows and defined eyelashes. But Jesus Christ, the body hair is everywhere. And I thought I just had like a couple on the edge that would get kind of dark. So I like would pluck those a little bit. Then on a whim, I bought like upper lip wax strips on Amazon, which is a direct correlation to looking at myself on the stupid fucking video. Because to be honest, before we started doing this, I probably didn't look at myself more than a cumulative total of like 4 minutes in a day. Because I don't put on makeup before work or do my hair. So I maybe go like, nee, and look at my teeth, and then I go to work. Like there's no, if I look in the mirror, it's mostly to look at my ass to make sure I didn't like sit on something. I don't take selfies. I don't do a lot of those things. So this has been awful. I'd be
I
perfectly
know.
honest.
No, it's so true. And again, I get a little distracted because I'm a little vain and I keep staring at myself in my side of the screen and I'm thinking, oh God. So let me just a disclaimer this. The number I gave is my general number on average. Right now, the way I feel ain't no 8 or whatever. Like, I don't feel great, but some days I feel like a 9. And I'm like, oh yeah. It just depends on how much time I've taken to take care of my face and feel good. Like, I haven't showered. I'm a new mom, so it's been like 3, 4 days. I need to shower tonight. There's things that I don't feel like when I don't feel great, I don't think I reflect that. But when I feel great, I'm probably higher. So this is also a fluid number for me. I'm not going to sit
Yeah.
here and be like, yeah, look at me. I'm so cute right now. Like, I don't really look that great today. And that's fine. It's fine. So I got good days and bad days. I think everyone does. I think if you're rating yourself on only time when you're all dressed up and you have a filter on and you've got a pound of makeup and you're wearing a hoochie mama dress, I think that's a little unrealistic because what do you look like when you roll out of bed in the morning? Because I bet it's not the same number.
Bro, I have the best example that I can't share the name of, but when I was working at the probation office, there was this woman that had the most extra Instagram account, and she looked beautiful on Instagram. Like she was a beautiful woman, but not like her Instagram was Instagram. And it was just funny because she would get really dressed up and like the makeup and the hair and the nails and the this and like the whole outfits, and was great at taking like photos and lighting and all of it, angles. And I will never forget this one time someone commented like, "Oh my God, how do you stay so fit?" And she wrote back and she was like, "Oh, I don't even work out, LOL." And I wanted to be like, girl, I've taken drug tests from you, and I know what happens when the spandex come off.
Ooh,
I mean,
yep.
it's just a like croissant
Like a
roll, biscuit, like popping open biscuit. Like, and that's fine. You've had kids, like you have a
yeah.
normal body, but don't be out here on Instagram like acting like you have this tiny waist and like big ass. Because most women, if you have a big butt, like it's dimpled or airbrush. Like, I don't know. So that stuff also, just as like an aside, drives me crazy. But I feel you. Like, I've gained a little bit of weight, and when my pants feel tight, I
Yep.
spend a lot of time in the day being like, I can feel my stomach on top of my belt.
That mentally changes things for me. So it all depends on where I'm at and if I'm feeling healthy. But again, I think confidence in the way if I could tell if everyone could feel like a 10 personally, and go out in the world with that confident, I think that'd be great. Go out in the world with confidence, because I think that I think that elevates how you do present other people. Say you're actually a 6, but if you go out there as a 10, maybe someone's going to perceive you as a 7. But to answer the question the way that it was presented, I can't lie and ever say I'm a 9 or 10, because I'm not. Even when I was all dolled up and I had my makeup on and I was in my wedding dress, like for my wedding, I was looking great. But I still would never say I was a 10. Like, there's always someone else who's going to be more beautiful than I am.
I feel that way too. I also think it's just how, like, I don't understand why you want the pressure of thinking that you're the best looking person in the world.
Well, yeah, it's a lot of pressure, and it's just conceited.
Well, that too.
Sorry.
But that whole thing of like, I'm a 10 and I don't know. I just don't like that. To me, it feels like trophy society where everyone gets a participation trophy. It's like, can we just call it what it is? Like, we just are what we are. And I'm not a swimsuit edition model, at least by the standards set forth in the beginning of, I don't know what happened this year. But I wouldn't be on a magazine cover for myself. Like,
okay,
I'm
here's
not
the other
going
thing.
to.
I will say one thing, hopefully that doesn't get me in trouble. I think there's a difference between I've already said this to a certain extent, but I feel like there's a difference in how you feel as far as confidence goes and how you actually present to the world. And what I think I have a problem with this culture is that because you feel like a 10 and your confidence internally means that I should praise you for the way you look, even if it's not based in health or reality. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly. And I don't believe anyone that says they think they look like a 10.
No, you're in denial.
I think even if we asked Beyonce, she would say a 9. Like, everyone's going to point out things. So I feel like people who are just saying that I'm a 10 are just trying to yell at the loudest so that you don't have time to think.
They're either overcompensating, they're doing exactly what you just said, or they're forcing. Body positivity it's always a pendulum. Yes, have body positivity, but that can't rule everything. That can't make up for the fact that maybe you're not in a situation where you're going to be picked for the cover of the next magazine. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a difference between that and the world we live in. And I'm all for body positivity. I think it's great, but it doesn't mean you have to deny. And I'm not saying like embrace and be like, no, you're ugly. Like, I would never say that. But it's just so funny watching these women be so reactive to their ratings. And I think it all stems from, instead of self-confidence, it's probably what's the word I'm looking for? Your lack of self-confidence. I guess.
I don't like it because I don't understand why, in order for you to feel confident, you have to be better than everyone else.
Yeah.
I think to me, that's what bothers me about it, which is funny. This goes back, honestly, to our first episode of us talking about how, like, you're not special and you're not better than anybody. Like, no, you're not the best. Like, I'm not the best. No, I don't know. I just think that's weird. I think that unless you've won like an Olympic gold medal, it's pretty hard for you to say that you're the best at something. Looks, anything. So why can you only feel good about yourself if you think that you're the top? Like, why can't I do feel good about myself in my station? Like, why can't I just be like, this is the actual element that I float in? Like,
oh yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I have a decent job. It's stable. I don't make a ton of money. I'm definitely not hot enough to like pull a rich old dude. Don't want to do that anyway. But like, I don't know. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what are you valuing, and why do you have to be the best? I
Yeah.
feel like that in and of itself is a problem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm just, I don't know, just here hanging out, like trying to not be an asshole and hopefully make people laugh and be nice, usually, and then try to seduce my husband. I don't know. I don't know why there
I
has to
know.
be more happening than that.
I know. I think it's just about going back to if you, it's just all those girls' reactions. If you don't rate yourself a 10, that means you don't have enough self confidence. That's not really what I'm saying. It's saying actually more so that I'm confident in my number and where I'm at because I feel good with who I am
I
compared
would
to
wager that it takes more confidence to not see yourself as a 10 or assume that people don't look at you as a 10 and
right.
walk out and be like, I'm still going to wear the clothes that I want to wear, or like, I'm still going to wear the bikini that I want to wear,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that I have spider veins and cellulite when I sit down and like some sprigs of hair didn't get pulled at my last wax. To me, to me, it takes more
It's okay.
to me, it takes more confidence to like own what you have than to deny your flaws. I commend people more who are realistic about like, this is just who I am, and then loving yourself where you're at instead of being like, no, this is the best. Because I also
Mm-hmm.
think that it's horseshit. Like, just like you were saying about personality, I think it's trash that you think you are at the top because then you're never, what are you working towards? So
Right.
I don't think the goal of looks should be weight, which I think is a struggle for a lot of women and has been for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a thing I continue to kind of like set boundaries with myself about, of like weighing myself and focusing on a number versus focusing on health. So
Mm-hmm.
there's definitely like, you got to find a good
Yeah.
balance with that. But I can love myself now, the size that I am, with how I look, and still say, I'd like to be in better shape, or I would like for my clothes to fit a little bit better, or whatever. Like, this goes back to my obsession of you can hold two opposing forces and both of them can be true. So I can be happy with myself and I can say, I need to work on my cardiovascular health because I want to make sure that I have like strong lungs and a good immune system and a strong heart. So when I go up the stairs, when I'm out of breath, I don't have to be like, oh, I'm a fat tub of shit. I can say, I'm glad my legs work and I'm able to go up the stairs. And I would like to do this with more ease also. Like, both, people, both.
Okay, for the audio listeners only, I am sitting here. If anyone's actually watching the video, I didn't mute myself. I'm just mouthing, yes, 100%. Yeah, like I'm totally in agreement with you. And I think we should end it there because that sums it up perfectly. And that's where I'm so glad this conversation went where I thought it was going to go. Um, Literally exactly what you just said. That's what it comes down to.
Because it's hard. And also, no one's saying it's easy.
No, not at all.
Like, it's hard
But
and it's been a struggle. And I think I grew up in a house with some, not what I would want my kids to hear about people's bodies.
yeah.
And it's something that if Jason and I ever had a kid, I would feel extremely vigilant about like how I spoke about myself.
Hmm.
And even when I was in therapy, my therapist caught me a few times and she's like, you're kind of mean to yourself
Yeah, it's
in these,
easy to
like,
be mean in
yeah.
those moments. Yep.
And like I said, looking at myself in a mirror this much sometimes, I'm like, woof. I just
I
didn't
think
want
it's
to know.
yep. I think it's just a balance of taking responsibility and giving yourself grace in the moments where it's hard and you're feeling like you're not where you want to be, but also appreciating what you have and owning what you have, but not turning that into something where you're shoving it down someone's throat and being like, appreciate me as a 10 when, there's just a balance of, and it's hard. Life is hard. Sometimes you have good moments and sometimes you have bad moments, but the, it's all coming down to the culture of today. And it's just so interesting how we went we're just on this weird side of things right now.
Some of us are winners and some of us are losers and some of us are in-betweeners. And I think most of us are in-betweeners. And I'm honestly okay with that because being a winner sounds like a lot of work, and I'm not willing to stop eating and drinking certain foods to look a certain way.
Exactly.
And I also have a thing where like I push myself recklessly when I'm uncomfortable with something. So if I'm feeling chunky, I basically am like, too bad, bitch, you have to wear a bikini. So I think I have some behaviors where I like exposure therapy myself into just getting over it. Like I'm like, this is what your body is. So this is just an exercise in owning what you have, which has probably helped me. 2 seconds when I did rip off my upper lip wax, all the hairs were dark. It wasn't like 2 or 3, it was like 25. And I broke out as a result, but I keep doing it because I'm like, I can't go back to mustache land.
Mustache, was that humbling for you?
Well, I always kind of like knew that it was there, but I didn't look at it. It was like a don't ask, don't tell with my upper lip. But
Well,
I can't now.
Even with blonde hair, like I can feel it. And if you hit the sun right, it's like, okay, yeah, it's there. So I don't wax it, but I have this thing. I think it's called like epilady. I don't know. It's just a thing. Yeah,
I would need to do that to my whole face. I mean, I have like peach fuzz, which fine, it's clear. I don't care. It is what it is. But like when they did my tattoo, like, you know, they shave it to make sure there's no hair. I was like, that's a lot of fucking hair.
Isn't that weird?
That's awful. On that note, we'll see you next week. No, I don't know what we're talking about next week because I'm discombobulated thinking about my peach fuzz face.
Mustache.
Oh, I will leave you guys with one last story. I bought that like something hair remover, nude hair laser, like at home laser, which was working really well until I got lazy and like forgot to keep up with it. And now I need to start all over again. But Jason so innocently, God bless him, I think one day tried to ask like, can you use that on your face? And I looked at him and I was like, I think I know what you're saying and I know what you're saying, but we're going to go back to a time in life where we don't acknowledge this. I wasn't mad. Like, I wasn't mad. It was just one of those situations. And like, he didn't know how to approach it either. But it was so funny. It was just so funny. Like, I just saw his angst and then his immediate regret. And it was just so like, also, if you've thought I've had a mustache for this whole time, like you've still made out with me plenty. So I'm not, it doesn't hurt my feelings. Maybe some of that too is it just feels different to be in like a comfortable place in your marriage and know that you get along and you like all of each other. And like just some of the ease that comes with that too, maybe is what's helped me in my phase of life. But it was so funny. I was like,
I wish you could have been a fly on the wall.
That.
Yeah.
And then he was like, yep. And then just like walked out of the bathroom. God bless him.
Oh, bless his heart.
He's the nicest man I know, but every once in a while he sticks his foot in his mouth. And I'm glad that I'm not someone that flies off the wall about things because I can see his like true intentions. So I take his intentions and not his words sometimes, but it was so funny.
That's really funny.
God bless him.
I really wish for all the trolls out there, I wish I would have showered and done something with my hair while I talked about rating myself because I'm just looking at myself this whole time and I'm thinking, what is going on here? But I'm also in a transition period of growing my hair out, so we're getting there.
It's okay.
Just not looking too hot right now.
People can talk shit about me all day and I can take it in stride, but if somebody said something about you, I would literally come unglued. So it's a good thing that no one has.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mama Bear.
All right, my friend. Well, we'll be back next week for some other kind of spicy topic. And we hope that you join us. Send us your responses. Send us your ratings.
That'd be fun.
So fun.
That'd be fun.
This is a great conversation. I want to come back to this like later on down the line and see if things change. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, itch that mustache. I'm going to go shave mine and we'll see you next Tuesday.
We'll see you next Tuesday. Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.